Okay, just finished up welding the other side of the angle iron. We have another piece that has to be welded, just identical to this entire piece here. So this is the flip side. The weld actually turned out pretty good. Pretty doggone good. Got pretty good depth, and 85 amps turned out to be pretty good. So not bad. Looking good. Using the Everlast. Power TIG 250EX, 85 amps, worked out really good. You can see there, had to TIG weld a tab on the bottom there, and we ran a TIG weld all along that bead to connect these two pieces of angle iron. Okay. So 2 of those had to be made so that she could actually move the seat forward and get it closer so that she can actually not have to come out of the saddle, out of the seat, and she can ride the bike without having to reach too far. Okay. Now, you'll notice it kind of has that hot roll. See how it's kind of scaly looking, like a gray scale? Because angle iron is hot rolled, comes from the manufacturer like that. Okay. Kind of scaly, a little bit rusty. So what we do is, we take a grinder and a flap disc. Okay. And the flap disc is just little pieces of sandpaper that they put together in a circular fashion and mount it to a disc or a wheel, and you put it on your grinder. And then you spin that puppy up and you grind it down to shiny metal. And Red Heat 60 grit by Norton. $8, but a rip-off. You can get that a 10-pack for probably almost the same money on Amazon. And when you're all said and done, what you're going to get is, you get done painting it, you get something like that. All nice and painted, and turned out pretty good. Turned out pretty good. Some paint drip here, but you know, this is fine. Okay. The other side. Got a good weld going on there. The weld turned out really good down there too. Nice tab weld. So what I'll do is I gotta flap disc and grind that one down. Before I paint it, I'll show you what it looks like all shiny. Okay. Well, it turned out so good. Look at those 2 pieces of angle iron. Look at that. Paint job turned out good too. Nice. Solid. Look at that thing. That seat is on there rock solid. That seat is stable. It just turned out so good. And if you look carefully, you can see the spacers moving a little bit closer here. So you can see the spacers here, the one on the bottom, and same thing on the other side. A-OK, right? Turned out so good. And these same spacers, similar, are on the inside of this tube. One here and one on the bottom. So that when the clamping force is happening, it won't crush the tube. Nice. Very solid. You know, screw the Chinese. That's where this was made. The seat was all the way back here. You had to be like 6'5" to reach from here to the bars. Okay. So if we go back and pan back out, okay. So the seat was all the way in the back. Okay. The seat was all the way back here. So imagine this seat way back here, and it's tilted backwards. I'm 5'10½", and even when I sat with the seat back here, with these bars all the way in the front, that bar all the way out front like that, I could barely reach the full throw. I had to be leaning way over. Whoa. My mom hurt her back. I can understand why. She's probably like 5'5". This thing was built for like someone who's 6'5". from the Chinese nonetheless. So, with the Chinese screw up, the Americans build right. So she's gonna come over and pick this up. Looks really good, turned out great. Done on the cheap. This was all done with grinder, TIG welder, and a drill press. You know, that's it. Okay, let's take a closer look at a few things. You'll notice down in there is a spacer. So when you're clamping these two pieces of black angle iron together around that rectangular tube, forget the fishing wire for a second. That's just to keep the spacer from falling down in there. So I cut up some tube and put the spacer in there. So now when we clamp down, this rectangular piece of tubing, which is really thin, won't get crushed. And the exact same thing happened inside that piece of tube right there. So there's 4 spacers, 2 on each side, and there's spacers inside that tube. Inside there and inside there. So you got a total of 6 spacers there. 4 on the outside and 2 inside the tube. Now some of you may be asking, how did you get the spacer inside the tube to stay there? The top one especially, how did you get to stay up in there while you put the rod through there? Fishing line, baby. Stick some fishing line through there. That's all I had to do. That's right, American ingenuity. Simple. This turned out so good, I just took me a while to finish it because I was kind of doing it in between my regular work. But yeah, it turned out really good. And it's very solid. The seat is so solid. I mean, it doesn't move around at all. If you move the seat, the whole thing moves with it, you know? There's no flex at all going on in there. I thought it might flex a little bit like that. It's just not happening. Very solid. Turned out great. Now hopefully she's gonna have a better reach. For me, even right now, I feel like this is still a bit of a reach when it goes that far away, that far out. So let me get up on there and just see how this works out here. Now I'm taller than my mom. Like I said, she's probably about 5'5", and I'm about 5'10½". So I try to make it a little bit shorter than my leg throw. Let's see what happens here. See, my leg is still bent here. It's not completely straight like that, right? So for her, hopefully, it's going to work out for her. I mean, even right here, this all the way out, I have to lean forward a little bit. Otherwise, you know, I'm like stressing my back a little bit to reach all the way out there. So you can imagine for her, you know, she's like trying to reach out there, and every time she goes forward, it's lunging forward, you know, and messing up her back. She hurt her back because before she was sitting way back here. And like I said, the thing's made for someone who's 6'5", you know. I don't know what the Chinese are thinking, but they don't know what the hell they're doing, you know. So for now, this isn't too bad. If I just lean forward a little bit, I can get it going. And I'm okay with this. My arms are still a little bit bent. As long as I lean forward a little, I'm okay with it. I like to see it bend right here in this bar. About right there, have a little tube bender and bend this whole bar a little forward so that she isn't stretching way out like that. She'd be more like about right there and have her arm bent. Then when it comes all the way back, you know, the worst it's going to be is maybe like about right here. I just don't have a tube bender, and I didn't want to put it in the vise and try to bend it and then get the wrong degree. So far, this I think is about as good as it's going to get for what I got available. And you can not use your hands and just put them here in the middle for a little bit if you want to take a little break with your back, and then grab them again and go for a little while. Bend it back. So I think it's okay. I think it's going to work out for her, at least I hope so. Very nice.